Please join me in welcoming Art Justice.
Doc! Doc!
Have fun storming the castle.
Chicken! Chicken!
She just goes a little mad sometimes. Have a seat.
I'm late.
The doc's alive!
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you. Again, I'm Art Justice with Cinemark Theaters, and I didn't expect Dr. Scott to slam movie popcorn prices. That caught me a little off guard. But we're starting to serve alcohol at some of our theaters as well. So if you think we charge a lot for popcorn, just wait to see what we charge you for beer and wine. So that trailer was actually Cinemark Classics, which are older films that have been digitally restored, and we're now showing them certain days of the week, different films that get picked. That was something that one of our managers actually wanted to do. Our booking department kind of resisted and kept putting her off and saying, no, we don't think that'll work. But the technology of digital cinema allowed us to try that. It's become a very successful thing for us. People are really into those old classics. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Cinemark, as well as the motion picture exhibition business in general, which for a long time didn't change a lot. Movies were shown on film media for years and years, and then that changed very quickly. Another major change in our industry, stadium seating in the late 90s, proved to be a very disruptive innovation. Many other changes and innovations are now occurring. And since we compete with other forms of entertainment, such as home movie theaters, we have to be on the cutting edge and have to provide a unique experience. Innovation and technology are allowing us to do that. So first, a little bit about Cinemark. Steve said we're based in Dallas. We're close. We're in Plano, about 20 miles up the road. Cinemark, as he said, is a leader in the motion picture exhibition industry. We're the third largest chain in the United States in terms of screens. And we rank first or second in box office in 23 of our 30 U.S. markets. We're also the most highly attended theater chain in the world. We are the most geographically diverse circuit in Latin America. So this is our domestic footprint. We're not in 48 states. We are in Alaska, and continue to expand our footprint through acquisition and new construction. As just an example of what digital cinema and innovation has allowed us to do. Screens are bigger, they're floor to ceiling. You see all the speakers, new sound systems, 3D sound, 3D picture. Just a much better experience than it used to be. We're also doing some concepts where we build very nice lounges, comfortable seating before the movie, and this particular location has a bar. So some of our platforms, we are also introducing movie bistros, which serve food. Cinemark Reserve is a concept that serves food delivered to the table. XD is our large format, which we'll talk a little bit about later. And CineArts is our art film platform. NextGen is what we call our latest generation of theaters. Again, floor to ceiling screens and some of the amenities that we've been talking about. So Cinemark XD, the world's largest private label premium large format brand. So that's our large format, which allows for much better picture. Again, floor to ceiling, 2D or 3D film. We pick the expected highest grossing film for the weekend, and that is shown on the XD screen, which generally is either one, sometimes two auditoriums in some theaters. And the nice thing for us is there's no additional revenue share. We do charge an upcharge for XD. There's no revenue share on that. That goes directly to us after the standard studio agreement. A large investment to build these, $500,000 to $650,000 for a conversion, which we've done a lot of. Then on new construction, about $125,000. So our energy department, other than myself, Danny Zagata is our energy manager, and Danny's out here somewhere, I believe. Should be. Carrie Owen is our energy administrator, and those are the three of us are our full-time people. Then we have a long-term employee, Lauren Clements, who is a part-time employee, and then we currently have Jessica Varga as an energy intern. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of the projects that we've done over the years. We started out with lighting and HVAC. Lighting, of course, continues to evolve. That's an ongoing process. But we were able to do very early on some projects that had a big impact on energy consumption. We had some buildings built in the 90s that were really big energy hogs. We were able to do some retrofits with some significant rebate money from utilities. And we had a real impact on those buildings. We began exploring LED when it started hitting the market. After a lot of watching, we began deploying LEDs, kind of one technology at a time, different lamps and different parts of the theater. We started with screw-in lamps, then we went to LED track heads, and then we went to replacing linear fluorescent as well as pin-based LEDs. So we continue to employ LED, and now we've started doing more extensive rollouts with a few pilot projects, and we expect to do much more extensive rollouts in the future, both interior and exterior lighting. New construction projects are now mostly LED as well, interior and exterior, which is, LED is not only efficient, but we love the quality of light. We just think it's greatly improved over what we've seen in the past. At the same time, in the 2000s, on the HVAC side, we found that our systems were over-designed, or poorly designed, oversized, created comfort and humidity issues. So we began a retrofit program, rolling out retrofits, and we found that we were able to control humidity, much more comfortable. We added EMS systems, which added to our efficiency. The first retrofits we did for EMS saved at least 13% on energy usage, so now obviously it's standard in new construction, and we've gone back and added EMS systems to almost all of our theaters. With the retrofit of HVAC, not only was comfort improved, we also found that peak load was reduced, systems were more efficient, and just an overall much more efficient building. So in 2010, we started thinking as a company more about sustainability. The energy group was handed waste. We began a program at that time to optimize our existing compactors. Over the next couple of years, we reduced waste hauling by over $1 million per year cost. At the same time, we began recycling cardboard. Prior to that, we'd really just been throwing cardboard in the compactor. So a couple of good things came out of that. It's just a graph showing where our expenses were prior to 2009 was our baseline year. We continued to drive down prices and drive down costs, and that continues to happen. So we talked a little bit about digital cinema. On the sustainability side, digital cinema allows us to, we don't ship prints, there's no film production. So on the sustainability side, we think that's a positive thing as well. It also allows us to do a lot of alternative content, not only classics, but gaming, sporting events. So I think we'll continue to see that evolve over time. Again, the digital cinema rollout, when it initially happened, we were shipped the print or the movie on a hard drive. Over time, we switched over to what we call DCDC, Digital Cinema Distribution Coalition. So our films now do come in via satellite, with very few exceptions, maybe an art film here and there. South America is 30% satellite enabled, and that will continue to grow as well. We're now 100% digital in the US for first run since 2011, and 100% digital in Latin America since April of 2014. Another energy efficiency project that we rolled out was variable frequency drives. We'd wanted to try variable frequency drives for years, but the price just wasn't justified in smaller supply fans, which is mostly what we had on our rooftop units, because we typically have a lot of small rooftop units. This changed in 2011 when we did a pilot. We liked the results, the price improved, and we began a rollout for our entire chain. We now have over 5,000 VFDs installed, essentially turning a constant volume rooftop unit into a single zone VAV system. And on those rollouts, we saw 10 to 15% whole building savings, not just the HVAC side, but whole building savings. VFDs are now standard on new construction as well. Again, just illustrates the savings that we saw. We continually do M&V to prove out the savings. So we'd always wanted to do solar. Our president had always been interested in solar, but at the time we started looking at it, which was about 7 years ago, we just couldn't get there. He had a specific target in mind, and he said, when we get to about a 5-year payback, let's do some projects. At that time, we really weren't close. So we started looking for incentive money. We found some incentive money, and that drove the first solar projects that we did. Since that time, the prices continued to come down some, and we've been able to roll out, so far, 5 megawatts in 15 facilities, and we have money budgeted for next year to do additional solar projects. We're doing, so far we've purchased our projects. We're also looking at power purchase agreements, and we're very interested in utility scale solar as well. To further our recycling efforts, we started trying to recycle more than just cardboard. So actually started adding recycling stations in new construction and retrofits. And we've been able to start recycling other items, plastics, paper, cardboard inside the theater as well. And we're always looking to continue to drive that initiative and find new ways to recycle other items as well. On industry, we have an industry initiative to recycle more 3D glasses. We use a lot of 3D glasses, which are technically disposable, but we send them back to the manufacturer, they rebuild them. So the industry currently recycles about 55% of 3D glasses. Our goal is to get that to 90%. So I wanted to talk a little bit about LEED. We've done
Cinemark cares about environmental sustainability in the communities we serve. We are committed to reducing waste through our commingled recycling programs. By installing recycling centers in participating theaters, we've made it easier for you to make a difference too. Did you know that Cinemark recycles paper products, plastics, metals, and glass? Since 2012, Cinemark has recycled over 3,300 tons of waste. We're proud of the progress we've made together with our customers, and we'll continue to look for ways to improve the recycling programs at our participating theaters.
I stepped on my video there. So that's a video we did a couple of years ago for our recycling efforts, and we're working on updating that right now. Again, I wanted to talk just a little bit about LEED. We had an interest in doing some LEED buildings and seeing what we could learn. So we currently have 2 LEED certified projects. Napa, California is certified gold. Oakley Station in the Cincinnati area is certified silver, and we have Towson, Maryland in progress. We're looking at doing other LEED buildings, including some LEED existing buildings. While we continue to look at new potential LEED projects, we continue to use what we learned from these other projects. They were very valuable. So EV chargers, we've put in a few EV chargers. We found that it's pretty expensive to go back and retrofit. So what we've done is started making our new construction projects EV ready. So it's easy just to drop one in. We have the circuit and a pad. And we're looking selectively to go back and add some in specific markets. And we think it's a nice amenity. We have customers ask about it, so I think it's something we will continue to expand. We also have a couple of Tesla battery storage projects actually, they're not under construction, they're finished. We're just waiting for final approval from the utility. We're really excited about energy storage too, and we're really anxious to see how these impact our peak load. One of them is 400 kW array, and the other one is 600 kW array, both in California. So Real Green is a program that we created earlier this year to kind of summarize some of the things that we were doing, we've been working on. And Steve mentioned earlier, we were actually awarded the 2015 Energy Efficiency Award for Built Environment from the Alliance to Save Energy. So we're really excited about that. We recently got an article in our company newsletter, so we're publishing articles, encouraging managers to be efficient in the field. We're participating in the Green Power Partnership. WeSpire is an employee engagement platform that we've recently launched to get employees involved in some of our initiatives. We've done a video for Change the Course. Change the Course is an initiative to restore the Colorado River. We're participating with Coca-Cola, one of our partners in that. And although there's not an Energy Star rating for movie theaters yet, we participate in Energy Star as well. So the things that we continue to do all these, but as we look to the future, water is something we're really just scratching the surface on. We see costs going up, water shortage, although you wouldn't know it here in Dallas over the weekend. We're seeing rising prices, so we're really trying to focus on water. We are also working on dashboards to bring all the information together that we have out there. We have a lot of information, so we try to find ways to use that more effectively to drive efficiency. We hear a lot of talk about enterprise energy management, so we, again, are working on that initiative, and this is an area of focus that we've made a lot of progress in and continue to be very excited about. It's something I think every customer here has either heard about or is actively working on. So technology, I think, has a lot to offer there. And that the journey continues. We look forward to finding more new innovative products and building continuing partnerships with utilities. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, since nobody else has one, I have one, Art.
Well, we have
Sorry, Janet.
Hey, Art, you seem to know a lot about energy and solar and water and waste. Can you tell me who's going to win the Tennessee-Kentucky game on Saturday?
We're going to win out. But,
Okay, I like
okay,
my
now you
question
can have
better.
your question.
On your map that you showed all your locations, I noticed this really big gap in the southeast.
Yes, there is, Janet.
Would you ever like to move more theaters into our territory?
We would love to, and I think we will. Just give us time.
And go Dogs.
Hey, Art, go Vols, by the way.
Go
I agree
Vols.
with you, we are going to win out. I just had a question about the storage. Can you talk a little more about that in California, kind of how you're using that? And you're talking about shaving peak demand? Mm-hmm. Okay, so is that for demand response purposes, or is it more for just shaving peak demand on a
No,
regular
it'll be
basis?
used. It'll be used every day. It charges overnight, so it's not an energy efficiency project, but we charge it off the grid overnight, and then we use it during the day when there are peak day pricing charges in California. So that's actually a partnership that we're doing with Tesla. It's a shared revenue, sharing the avoided cost. So yeah, again, we're really anxious to see how that works out. Thanks.
Wait. Hold on. Hold on. We got another question.
What? Oh, I thought
We'll allow it.
I was done. Yes, sir.
Not letting you off the hook yet. So I got two questions for you. One is what is the average age of the HVAC units that you put the VFDs on as a retrofit? Second question is on the charging stations, the car charging stations, is that something that you guys own, or was that a partnership, and are they all fed from your distribution panels?
Okay, so I'll answer the second question first. We did do a partnership early on. That's how we started with EV chargers. Now we're going to own them going forward. We're changing out the ones we were partners on, and we're moving forward with our own. And we'll be in control of the network as well. So your first question was the average age of units that we were replacing or in our whole fleet?
They're turning on. Okay. The average age of the HVAC units that you added the VFDs to?
Gotcha. Okay. Well, so we actually did a lot of retrofitting, as I said, in the early 2000s, not necessarily because of age, but because of oversizing. So our fleet doesn't tend to be very old. We did draw a line, and we actually acquired a chain that had some older locations. So we drew a line, and we were focusing on units that were probably on average 10 years old, 10 to 12 years old.
Okay, you're done. Thank you, Art.
Thanks.